to TKK 89.5 North Star FM Radio, Tatak K, radyo kaalamang pang-modular. Magaan na sa buhay, madali pa sa pag-aaral.
According to Albert Einstein, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. So, be productive. A pleasant day to our dear listeners. Here is another week of learning and discovering your capabilities. This is School on the Air for English 6. And I am Teacher Laura, who will be with you for 10 minutes. Stay tuned! The most essential learning competency for this week is compose clear and coherent sentences using appropriate grammatical structures, subordinating and coordinating conjunctions. Do you have any idea about subordinating and coordinating conjunctions? By the way, what are conjunctions? Conjunctions are used to connect a variety of sentence elements. They can connect smaller parts of writing such as words and phrases, but they are also used to connect separate sentences or independent clauses together into bigger and more complex sentences. This time, you will learn the different subordinating and coordinating conjunctions and how they are used in sentences. To begin with, I will read to you the story about my first train ride. Kinda listen. My first train ride. Just as I woke up on Saturday morning, my dad told me he has a surprise. Though it wouldn't be relieved until 1 p.m., Dad told me that this surprise is something that I was definitely going to enjoy. As soon as I heard about the surprise, I jumped out of bed and got ready for the day. Although I was busy getting ready, I tried to keep guessing what the surprise could be. Once it was 12:30 in the afternoon, Dad said that we needed to go to the car so we could arrive at the surprise on time. Once we were all packed in the car, we left to drive to the surprise. Until we arrived, I kept thinking what the surprise could be. Just as we pulled into a parking lot, I saw a train. I asked Dad if we are going on a train ride. As soon as I asked him, he smiled. Before he could say anything else, I knew that's the surprise. Just as we got out of the car, we heard the buzzing from the train that it's closing and it's ready to go. Even though we don't have running shoes, we ran to make sure we hopped onto the train before it leaves. While on the train, we had a wonderful time and met many people. Whenever I see a train now, I think of this fond memory. It was my very first train ride. Let us analyze the 5 sentences taken from the story, but take note of the highlighted word in each sentence. The highlighted words are and, so, while, once, and even though. These are the sentences. Number 1. I jumped out of bed and get ready for the day. Number 2. Dad said that we needed to go to the car so we could arrive at the surprise on time. Number 3. While on a train, We had a wonderful time. Number 4. Once we were all packed in the car, we left the drive to the surprise. And number 5. Even though we don't have running shoes, we ran to make sure we hopped onto the train before it leaves. What do you call these highlighted words? Very good. They are conjunctions. And how are they used in these sentences? We have two kinds of conjunctions, coordinating and subordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are used to connect two or more simple sentences or clauses called independent clauses. Example: Erning drank some water for he was thirsty. The first sentence is composed of two independent clauses which can stand alone when separated. Let us try to separate them. Erning drank some water. He was thirsty. For is a coordinating conjunction used to connect these two sentences. Let's have another one. Tasho studied a lot, but he didn't pass the test. Let's separate them if they can stand alone. Tasho studied a lot. He didn't pass the test. Can you still understand each sentence? Yes. So, in this sentence, the coordinating conjunction but is used.
It is easier to remember the coordinating conjunctions if you think of the word
Fanboys. F-A-N-B-O-Y-S. Fanboys. F is for, which is used to present a reason. A is and, which presents non-contrasting ideas. N is nor, which presents non-contrasting negative ideas. B is but, which presents contrast. O is or, which presents an alternative or a choice. Y is yet, which presents a contrast or exception. S is so, which presents a consequence. While subordinating conjunctions connect or join a dependent clause to an independent clause in a sentence, you can write most sentences with a subordinating conjunction in one or two different ways. Example: when my friends arrived, I was still doing my homework. I was still doing my homework when my friends arrived. If a sentence begins with a subordinating conjunction, use a comma to separate the two clauses. These are some of the examples of subordinating conjunctions. We have after, before, if, so that, when, although, by the time, in case, then, whenever, as, even if, now that, the first time, whether or not, as soon as, even though, once, unless, while, because, every time, since, until, Why? Did you understand our lesson for this week? Try to answer this exercise. You are going to choose the conjunction that best completes each sentence. Number 1. Mary Jane and but her friend Amelia rode their bikes to school. Number 2. The school bus driver wanted to turn right and but had to turn left instead. Number 3. The teacher wanted the students to do both or and science homework. Number 4. Would you rather work on math or and science first? Number 5. Dr. Santos rushed to the hospital because he could help an emergency patient. Are you done with your answers? Let us check. Number 1, and. Number 2, but. Number 3, and. Number 4, or. And number 5, so. Who got a perfect score? Congratulations! And we are done. Tune in again next time for our next lesson. Thank you, grade 6. Happy learning!